Hello to you. Hello. My name is Alex, and today with you, I will be happy to talk about English. And at first, I want to look at our connection. Let's do this first. Wow, I can see myself. It is already good. And I can hear myself. It is wonderful. That's what I like. And today, as pretty often it is happening with me, I'm doing, how would say, these live streams unscheduled. And the reason of this because sometimes I don't know when I will have free time. Like example, I can example guess to be honest, but anyway, I love to do live streams. I love to be with you online, and I love to talk about English too. And especially today, we will talk about uh, phrases which can be rude if yeah, they can be rude. That's all. And this video is from channel Learn English with Bob the Canadian. I wanted to go because right now I was talking with I'm chatting sometimes with you, and I mean with some of you, and you can sometimes write to me messages on Instagram, on different platforms, and uh, one of our eagles from Germany, he said that people always excited about his accent, and I decided to think like to talk today about English in Canada because pretty often people were confusing that I'm from Germany, from France, and I decided what about English in Canada because I've heard that there you can find um, French. It is kind of bilingual country, and that's when we said, okay, let's try to find out uh, little bit more about phrases in English, and it would be nice to find something new. But at first, of course, I want to tell you, you can prepare tea, coffee, maybe, yeah, it would be nice. Also, you can leave your like and subscribe to my English Word and Alex Live. It would be nice too. And yes, let's go. Let's check our community chat, and we will start watching our video. Yes, hello Thomas. Happy to see you, Thomas. Hello to Emma. Hello to Steve. It is so nice to see all of you. Hello, Frank in Texas and South Bear, Misty. It is fascinating to see all of you. Yeah, I need to drink a little bit and then we will start. Yes. Our video, you even can see probably that I tried to English in Canada. That's what I will try to find out. Our video will be short, but it will be pretty interesting for me to know what I should not say, never say in Canada. Because in future, of course, I want to travel around the world. And obviously, I think I want to visit Canada. Canada is amazing country where you can find amazing people. Yes, I think all countries are amazing. Uh, Everywhere you can find amazing and wonderful people. But today we are talking about English in Canada. And that's why, yeah, let's go, let's jump into this. And to be honest, about this teacher, Bob, it looks that I already was watching some of videos from his channel. I'm sure about this. I like the way how he explains things because as for learner, I think that a lot of people who is studying any languages, it is always important to hear just simple explanations without any anything difficult words, stuff like these terminologies. Sometimes it is just complicating things, and that's why one of the reasons I decided to watch his video. Hello to you, Lisa Marshall. Thank you a lot for your support. Happy to see you. Yes. Okay, let's go. Let's jump into our topic.
So as many of you know, I work in a high school. And when you work with teenagers, sometimes you hear them say things to each other that aren't very nice. So in this English lesson, I'm going to teach you 8 phrases, 8 things that people say to each other that are kind of mean. You shouldn't learn these so that you could use them, but you should learn them so that if you do hear them when you're watching a TV show or a movie, you understand what people are saying. So the first phrase I want to teach you is the phrase, "I told you so." This is a phrase that people say after people do something where you told them they probably shouldn't do it. So let's say that someone is stacking all of their...
I think that pretty often when we are talking about teenagers and young people, it can happen. It can happen that young people, they can say phrases and they can be not always polite, if I
books
can
up
say so.
near the corner of their desk.
It doesn't matter in which country you're living. Teenagers and young people, they can be pretty often rude.
And their friend says, "Don't do that, they might fall." And then if they do all fall, the friend might say, "Huh, I told you so." That's not a very nice thing to say. Obviously, the person whose books fell on the ground realizes that that wasn't a good thing to do. And having a friend say, "I told you so," simply makes them feel a little bit worse. So
I never was thinking about this because, example, when you're telling this, I told you so, it can be offensive, like you. But I never was using these words. I told you, I never was thinking that it can be so rude. Maybe. Yes, and I think that it depends how you looking at this. Example, somebody told you, "I told you so," and you're like, "Yes, um, it's fine," and your reaction, your answer on this phrase means a lot. If somebody will tell me, "I told you so," I will not think at all that it is rude. I will think, okay, like I can repeat. I mean, it is something that I like, but if I will use this phrase towards others, again, I will never mean this as like as a rude thing. Like if I say it's "Oh, I told you so," but I will never mean this something like bad behind. Yes. As you know, Alex, I use this, and yes, and I like how you're using this, Heather, because I do not feel behind when you're using this, and I do not feel something like rudeness or feeling behind that. I do not have this. I just yeah, it is first time when I've heard that this phrase can be rude. To be honest, I told you so. Yes, maybe it depends a lot, of course, how people using these, or what kind of emotions people using these. I think it is a huge part of the deal. Because if you're telling this in a light way, without pressure, come on. Of course.
So, number one phrase, or the first phrase, I told you so.
I told you.
Another phrase you might hear someone say that's a little bit mean is the phrase grow up. Sometimes people act childish. Sometimes adults even act childish. That means you kind of act like a kid. And if someone doesn't like that behavior, if someone doesn't like the way you're acting, they might say, grow up. They're basic.
Oh, hello. Oh, I see that you're using. You say that hello, Master German. You say that you are studying Russian. It is. I wishing you luck. I'm happy I will answer on your messages after time because right now I'm a little bit. Yeah, but I will see your messages. Thank you. Hello to Sam Smith Q. Happy to see you too. Yes, it is an amazing company we have today. And grow up. Why do you have here subtitles? I have no idea. Okay. Grow up. Alex, grow up. Again, I would never feel. It depends from type of conversation. It depends for time, but again, I would never think that it is kind of offensive. Grow up. Offensive can be if somebody is swearing at you like directly, offensive like directly. And then again, I will like, come on, I do not care what. Example, somebody is swearing at me. I'm like, okay, you're right. I mean, like, your opinion. I would not be. It's difficult to offend me. It looks like this. I mean, it looks like it's difficult to offend me. Oh my gosh. Yes, it looks like this. But obviously, uh, grow up, it is something neutral for me. It doesn't have this vibe of offensive. It is not swearing words even. Yeah.
Simply saying, hey, you're acting like a child and you should act more like an adult. I don't really like this phrase because sometimes it's fun just to act childish sometimes. Sometimes it's fun to just have a little bit of
Yeah.
fun. But if you are someone who doesn't like that behavior, maybe you would use this mean phrase and say, grow up. So this next phrase is actually an insult, and it's the phrase, good for nothing.
Good for nothing. I was, well, like it sounds very interesting. Let's list because I've heard this, but I never thought about this as offensive again. Let's listen his explanation, and then already after this I will tell my opinion.
Sometimes students work together in a group, and maybe one person in the group has left for some reason. Maybe they went to the washroom or bathroom, and you might hear students say, oh, I wish so-and-so wasn't in our group because they're good for nothing. Basically,
What?
they're saying that the person isn't really good at any of the things the group needs to do. So it's not a very nice thing to say. Adults say this as well. Sometimes adults in the workplace will be talking. Maybe they're on coffee break and they say, oh, I wish I wasn't working with Joe. He's good for nothing. Basically saying that Joe isn't good
No.
at anything.
I never heard this phrase. It is a little bit can be offensive, I think. But obviously, if I will hear about somebody talking about me, I'm like, come on. It will not offend me. Maybe I'm talking like this now, but in reality it will offend me. But then it seems like, come on, it's nothing serious. But obviously, normal people will be offended. I mean, like, sometimes maybe I'm trying to push myself. I mean, like I'm trying not to care about opinion of others. Uh, I don't know. Maybe it is bad thing. Maybe it is my protection. I'm trying to protect myself by not taking so too close to personally some things which people talking about me sometimes. Maybe this is one of the reason. Just self-defense mechanism. And thank you, Alex is the example for not just immigration but also for integration. Thank you, Maus, the German. Thank you. And it is, yeah, you're right. It is also about integration, like to immerse myself into American culture, to become part of community, and uh, yeah, I like this immersion when it is, yeah, I like this. Not immersion, integration,
Thing.
yes.
So the third phrase you can use, please don't use it, that's very, very mean, is to say someone is good for nothing. So the next rude or mean thing that you can say is just one word, and it's the word whatever. This is a phrase that sometimes disrespectful students will say to a teacher. Let's say that students were writing a math test, and I said to a student, oh, I see you have your calculator and your phone out, you need to put them away, you're not allowed to use them during the test. If the student wanted to be rude, they could take their phone and calculator, and as they're putting them away, just kind of say, whatever. Basically what they're saying is they don't like that I told them to put those things away, and they're just going to say that one word to express the fact that they're unhappy.
He gave pretty nice example, whatever. I think it is a pretty accurate example. Personally, I do not remember that I ever heard this. Somebody was using this in English, but again, it is all about um, part of example. I wasn't studying as a student. Right now, I'm studying. I was studying in ESL class, but it is a little bit different. Nobody cares pretty often. People, I mean, like, not, it's not all students, they do not know pretty well English when they're expressing themselves. They probably will do this in their own language, but I never heard that any student would use these any root forms and come on, because people usually who is going to ESL class um, in my church, they do this just just because they want to do this. No, yeah, it is their choice to go to the ESL class, and whatever is rude. Yes, thank you, Lauren Prasnowski. Now I know. Before I didn't know. Uh, it sounds rude when he gave this accurate example, and yes, but um, yeah, I never use these words for sure because I didn't know where this I didn't have this like situations where I need to use this, or maybe if some teacher will tell me like you need to not use this, I'm like okay, thank you. That is my general answer. As yes, oh, so many comments in our community. It is amazing, and thank you, Lisa Marshall. Whatever, a very common word used by my 11-year-old. Wow, because swearing directly, not everyone teenager can will do, and sometimes okay, whatever. Yes, I'm trying to use to find when I was using this or not. Okay, at this moment I don't remember when I was using this. English 4 letter words are popular worldwide. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
About it. So please put your phone away. Please put your calculator away. Whatever. That's exactly how you would say it, by the way. Whatever. Oh, and by the way, you shouldn't say it, but you should recognize this word in case you hear it. This next mean or rude thing is also just one word, and it's the word useless. When you say that someone is useless, it's similar to saying that they're good for nothing. It means that you don't think they're very
Yeah.
helpful or good at what they do. And I have heard this before. I have heard
I can, and I mean, like, about people, I never was, and I will never use, like, how can you tell about people useless? It is very rude, I think. I was talking about some example applications. You can, oh, this application is useless. It is like, or some, I can tell about some things which you can buy, example, and then you can be disappointed because it is not so good as you was thinking before, and it was happening with me. I'm like, okay, it is useless to try again to use this, because yeah, um, it can happen with some things, but about people, I believe it is too rude, I think.
students say, oh, Joe's in our group. He's useless. I wish he wasn't in our group. And I've heard adults
Dog,
say this as
dog, did you see? I'm like, of course you can see this dog. I'm like, I was feeling like it is running like in front of me. Yes.
well. When they're putting teams together to do certain projects, sometimes someone will whisper to someone else, oh, no, Joe's in our group. Ah, he's useless. So again, when someone is useful, it means that they're helpful and good at things.
Yeah.
But when someone is useless, it means they're not really good at anything.
Yes, it is good comparison. Use full, use less. I never was thinking about this in such a way. Never. He's useful. Wow. It is good to like opening your, making your understanding of English better. Yes, I like this. Use less, useful. Wow, yeah. But again, to use, I agree completely, to use this again towards people useless, I think it is really rude. Like, completely. Okay, let's go.
This next phrase is a phrase you might use to tell someone that they need to concentrate or focus on what they're doing. You might say to them, ah, wake up. And you heard me kind of express with a little sound beforehand. Ah, wake up, Joe. This
I think I know where you can use this in Russian language. Pretty often. Pretty often. Can you imagine such situation? You you are a student, teenager example, and you have and your parents example, mother, you will do with your mother example homework, and in Russia they given a lot of homework, and parents can tell this to their children, like example, wake up, what are you doing, like, and slap at the same time. Yes, behind, like, wake up, something like this. I don't know. I just know that some parents in Russia can use this. So, of course, not in English, but in Russian way they will use this. But yes, I can understand this, because in Russia it can be like a little bit rude too. If you will use this wake up in Russian, like проснись, like, and they can use this like in phrase, not separately, but with phrase before, like, or after. yes, it makes sense. It makes sense that, yeah,
This is something that you might say, it's very direct. I wouldn't
yeah,
say it's rude necessarily, but it's very direct. It's something you would say to someone who isn't doing their job well or isn't doing their job at all. So maybe you have a coworker who, when they're trying to do something, they're making little mistakes and they're not really focused or concentrating well on the task you are doing. You
yeah,
might
it
say
can
to them,
happen.
hey, wake up, let's do this job properly.
Yeah.
This next saying is also not exactly rude, but you might say it's very direct, and it's the phrase, we don't have all day. This is a phrase you would say to someone who is working slowly on a job with you that you need to get done. Maybe you're in a hurry to get something done, and the person you're working with is working very slowly. You might say, speed up, we don't have all day.
I think that we don't have all day. Um, no, I never heard this. I mean, like, I get this message. I mean, like, we don't have all day. Let's do it fast. Let's do it fast. It depends again how people use this, but I think that it has more negative vibe. This phrase, for sure. But again, it depends how much emotions you put into this, because pretty often I saw this many times when people, for example, they were swearing, but they were swearing so polite, and like it sounds like compliment. And I saw this pretty often because of people's charisma when they're swearing. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a little bit different. But obviously, it doesn't mean that you need to use it if you cannot do not have charisma, or I think it is better do not to use this. Like, oh, we don't have all day. Let's go. Let's do this fast. Um, Faster example. I don't know. A lot depends from situation. But yes, in general, I understood. I understood, and for me, it makes sense. And I see your message, Mouse the German. It is, let's read this. I ordered a school book from GDR, the 80s on eBay. It's super nice and easy to study Russian alphabet. The East Germans learned this Russian alphabet in primary school. Wow. Uh, Very interesting. I've heard that on East German people were studying Russian, and yeah, but I know that some politicians in Germany they know Russian, and like, wow, it is quite interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
I know once when Jen and I were loading the van for market, I was working really slowly. And Jen is a very nice person. She would never say that phrase, but she could have. She could have said to me, Bob, can you walk a little faster? We don't have all day. So if you're working with someone who's working slowly, more slowly than you want them to, you might be a little bit direct and say to them, speed up a little bit. We don't have
Yeah.
all day. This next phrase is a phrase you would use when talking about food that you are eating. Maybe you're at someone's house and they're serving you something that they think is yummy and you don't think it is. If you were to say, this is disgusting, that would be considered very, very rude. There are nicer ways to say you don't like food that someone is serving you.
I was using this couple times and I didn't think that it is rude. I was thinking, oh, example, somebody was giving me something, I do not like this, it's disgusting. Uh, Example, if I do not like avocados, I think that it's disgusting and that is strongly like, what can I tell about this? I mean, uh, but obviously when person cooked this dish, example, this meal, usually I didn't have like this situation when it was so disgusting and I'm like, wow, I do not like this completely. No. When person cooked this, of course, uh, to like he tried to cook for you. Example, he spent time, and you're like, yeah. Uh, Usually it's not completely disgusting. I never had this situation when it was like really disgusting that I wanted to express myself and to say this to everyone like it is disgusting. No, I didn't have this situation at all. But yeah, I got it.
You might say, oh, this isn't quite my cup of tea. That's a lighter way of saying it.
Yeah.
But if you were to take a bite and say, this is disgusting, that would be kind of rude and kind of mean because maybe the person spent a lot of time making that
Yeah.
food. This is a phrase I've heard from one of my children every once in a while, and we try to teach them that it's not a polite way to talk about food. Usually they're talking about something I made. I made glazed
Avocado.
carrots with brown sugar once, and two of my
Yes, avocado. I'm talking. Yes, you're right, Heather. Because, example, if I do not like avocado, I was using this. It's disgusting. And what can I tell this? But uh, yeah, when people cooking, usually it's not disgusting. Like really, it can be disgusting only because of few elements. Example, I do not like eat mushrooms. Example, too much olives I do not like, or eat at all maybe do not like them to eat. As a result, I'm like, but I can pick them and to put this away. It can happen, like and continue eat. Uh, but it's all like I will not like oh yeah.
my kids actually said, this is disgusting. I kind of liked it though. But anyways, I guess it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
So we have this phrase in English, you snooze, you lose. And it's a phrase that we
I was thinking it is about big families. You snooze, you lose. Example, can you imagine pizza? And your family ordered pizza, and you was last one, and you like everyone get 3 4 pieces, but you took only one piece of pizza. As a result, it is like you snooze, you lose. I was thinking like about this, like um, in Russia they have own words, but phrase for this. But again, it is a little bit different, but same meaning. Yeah.
use when there's not enough of something and someone didn't get something. Let me explain.
Oh,
Let's say there's a plate with 3 cookies on it, and there's
yeah.
4 people in a room, and everyone rushes and grabs a cookie, and one person doesn't get one. One of
Yeah, that's what's like. Wow, I like that I understood this by myself because it is logical, how would say, explanation. Obviously, I want to tell you one thing that I do not see this as offensive thing. Yes, I do not see this as offensive thing. I don't know why, like you snooze, you lose. Why it can be offensive? I don't know. I mean, like I got it, but who will be offended by this phrase? I have no idea. You snooze, you lose. Everyone knows this phrase. I mean, like, oh, in English it is. I didn't hear this phrase, but in Russia they have own phrase, and that's why it's kind of like okay, like it's your mistake. You was too slow, and people usually get this. People usually will not be offended by this phrase. I believe so. If somebody at least will use these 2 words to me, I'm like, okay, next time I will be faster and I will tell this to you. But obviously it is. It depends from person. Alex, your accent is you. Never lose it. Thank you, Sam Smith Q. Thank you for your kind words. I don't know how to lose it, and I do not have plans to lose it. Uh, I will talk. I believe me. Um, because of accent, I will not example to go and pay additional money to some teachers to correct my pronunciation to have this perfectly example American accent. No, I will never do this. I will never pay for this because it make no sense for me like to pay for. Come on. The main idea that I'm understandable, sometimes maybe not. Um, I think yes, but thank you, Sam Smith Q, for your message. Um, yes, that was okay. Let's go.
Of the people who got a cookie could then say, well, you snooze, you lose. Basically, what they're saying is if you don't move fast enough, you don't get one. Not a very nice thing to say. The person who didn't get a cookie is going to be a little bit upset. By the way, in that scenario, if my mom was in charge, she would cut the cookies in pieces and everyone would get the same amount of cookie. My mom.
I don't know what is happening with my camera. Yes, sometimes it is just disappearing. I hope it will be well. One moment. Yeah, something is happening with my camera. Have no idea what. Okay, we will finish this video and we will stop our live stream. I don't know. Hope that sound is going well.
Was always very, very fair. But if you're in a situation where there are two things and three people, and two people grab those things and one person doesn't get one, the people who got one could say, you snooze, you lose. But it would be a
Yeah.
little bit rude and a little bit direct. So sometimes I'm in a bad mood. I'm a normal human being. There are times when I'm in a bad mood. And the last thing I want is for someone to say, wow, you're in a bad mood today. When you're in a bad mood, it's not very nice when someone points it out. The other day, actually this was Jen's idea. The other day, Jen was in a bad mood and I think I might have said something like that. I might have said, oh, you're not in a very good mood today. So I didn't say it as directly as, wow, you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
But it certainly wasn't a nice thing to say. I'm sure.
I heard that Canadian people very generally polite. I've heard about this many times. I never met in my life Canadian person, and I never had with them, with him, maybe with her, with person from Canada any way I didn't have conversation. I cannot tell polite them or not. Generally, people tell that they're polite. Same about Americans. Pretty often, I've heard that Americans polite, and here, from my own experience, I see this. They are polite. It is true. This is like general. It doesn't mean that every person in America polite. It's just a general, like, and same with Canada. If yeah, maybe I hope that one day with my camera I will visit Canada and I will tell from my own experience of communicating with people. And yeah, let's finish this video.
Sure, you have the same thing. When you have a day where you're in a bad mood, you expect the people in your life to be nice to you, not to point out that you're in a bad mood. Well, thank you so much for watching this
Yeah.
English lesson about 8 phrases that are kind of mean, kind of rude.
Okay. Because we have already some issues with camera, have no idea what started to happen, have no idea at all. And yes, Alex, when you do a reaction video I sent you, let's look your video which you sent, because it was about Germany, if I'm correct, which you sent, and it would be nice, yeah, why not to do this, we can do this tomorrow, because it is, yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Yes, I see this video. Yeah, we can do this tomorrow, to have this, uh, yeah, to have this reaction on your recommendations. Why not on this channel? Why not? And at this moment, let's say each other goodbye. This live stream will be short because I do not like what is happening with camera. It started something new. I didn't have such thing before, and I do not like what is happening with camera now. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this live stream. I hope that, I'm sure that you know all of these words, but for me I found a lot of interesting things, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate your time. Wishing you all of the best, hugging you, and of course, as always, see you next time.